Hey, what's up, guys? Just went live. We've been waiting for Lee to pop in, but he is now in, so I'm going to add him into the chat. We're going to talk a lot today about some different protocols that are absolutely crushing it. I was just jamming out to some tunes. They're probably a little bit too loud. Let me turn those down real quick. But it was pretty upbeat. I'm starting to feel it. Let's see if that's good. All right, without further ado, I'm going to add Lee in, and we're going to talk about a few different protocols and then talk about one of our own. So that's awesome. And Unmade, you let me know. I just saw you in the chats. If you want to join, we'd love to have you on to talk about all the technical stuff on that side. But without further ado, let's bring on Lee.
Yo.
What's up, my man?
Oh, dude. Doing? I'm all right. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm just having a day, but it's good. Glad we could finally jump on and do the live stream. Anybody who's in the chats, if you guys wouldn't mind letting us know if the volume and everything's okay. It's been a little while since I live streamed, so hopefully everything's set up right. My camera's kind of all scattywampus. Is that a word in the UK?
Scattywampus?
Yeah.
No.
Haven't heard of that one? Yeah, it's a word over here. All right. What's up, everybody in the chat? It's good to see a lot of these familiar faces. I've been kind of all over the dang place lately, so as you know, things get a little
busy,
bit
man.
busy. But, you as well. You're kicking out food. You got putting the wife to work. You got a lot of stuff going on your end as well.
Yeah, man. It's cool. It's obviously challenging, but it's. I think the first major lesson that I learned, which is like any business, I suppose, is getting the customers to have trust and confidence in what you're doing. So whether you're selling food or a product or a service, it's the same kind of deal. But I found straight away the first couple of days that we went out, not the tests, not the the full, we're sending it. We'd pull up. There's an industrial estate a mile down the road. It's got about 25 businesses, including a huge concrete manufacturing plant where the drivers come in, fill the concrete wagon that spins, and then off again. Well, we happen to know one of the lads that drives one of the concrete trucks, and he come over and bought a French baguette from me with ham salad. Long story short, all the people were in their offices looking at us, but no one would make that decision to come. Yeah. So I went back the next day and I stood there for 20 minutes. Same again, not a single person from that particular estate. And then a bloke come past and he was walking his dog and he was like, "Are you going to be here regular?" I said, "Every single day. I'll be here at 8 o'clock in the morning, then I'm coming back at 12, breakfast and dinner." He said, "Because we used to have a van coming here, but they just decided not to bother and the food was crap." So he bought something and he was like, the next day, 2 people came and you could see them twitching the blinds through the office windows. And now they phone me. If I'm not there, they're on the phone saying, "I've bought no dinner in today. Where's the truck?" Yeah. So it's cool to see the evolution of people's social anxiety not to get to the purchase. But now they all bring the phones. Bing, bing, bing. Keith phoned me the one day. He's like, "What's happening?" I said, "I've got it. I've got all the lads. They're all turning up." Yeah. Well, it wasn't me. It was actually the wife. But
yeah, once you break the seal, though, everyone starts coming. You almost need to know when you pull up to those new properties, you almost need to have a cardboard sign when they're peeking through the blinds, just first one's free, and get that first guy out there, you know, get it going. But have you ever seen this magic trick? So I got a magic trick I've been working on, and it's a way to increase the intelligence of the group by 200% in just a couple seconds. You ready? You snap your fingers. Done. That's something I've been working on.
All right.
What's up, dude? How are you?
You should be. You should be working, mate. What are you doing?
Well, and this is my time off.
What time off?
I never had that email. We never had the sign off.
No. Well, I decided myself. I was like, you know what? I'll come and chat to these two for a bit.
Nice.
Yeah, well, did you hear what we were just talking about? Sorry, Scott.
I did, yeah. I did hear you.
It's. I mean, I'll tell you the other thing as well. What people don't realise. Camera's not there. It's there. I had the same anxiety pulling onto these new places. Like I told you, didn't I, Scott and Keith? I was telling you that I'm super confident, but all of a sudden, I was thinking, oh God, I was temperature checking every 30 seconds. I know it's fine because you do your checks in the morning and the close down checks at the evening. Temperature doesn't change at all, really. It peaks and troughs in the tolerance area. When you open the oven, it cools down, and open the fridge, it warms up. But when the people were actually spending the money, one of the lads in the concrete wagon, literally last Friday, he had a big bundle of stuff. And he come over to me, he was like, "Why do you watch me eat, bro?" I said, "I'm really sorry. I was looking at you thinking, does he like it? Because I prepare it myself with my, from fresh. I was thinking, oh, what's that?" He was like, "It's perfectly fine. I love it." He said, "I don't bring my dinner on a Friday because you're here." But then I got over that kind of anxiety, and now it's gone. Now, like I've got rid of it, so it's pretty cool. It's but it is weird. It's a strange.
It's natural. It happens, and especially because it's not just like a linear like problem to solve. It could be temperatures, other food. It can be that POS system. It can be there can be 100 things that go wrong, and if one of them goes wrong, particularly like the POS, all of a sudden you can't do sales. People are looking at you like you're an idiot. So you got to make sure you get a couple trial runs in and make sure everything's working fine, and then after that it just goes away. But that's natural, especially since you've been cooped up inside doing DeFi for the last couple of years. And once you limit your social interactions or whatever, you start getting around groups of people. It just is a little bit different.
Absolutely true.
But cool. I'm glad you're on, Keith, because we were just gonna take credit for all your brilliance on this new stuff.
That's why I've come on, just to make sure I do.
Like this,
No way.
They're not about to say they did all this.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Cool. We got people rolling in, so this is good. I was hoping we could get some people like this midday here in the US and evening time over in the UK and Europe. That's
6
awesome.
o'clock, 6:15 in the evening. Daddy daycare. So if you hear noises and shouting, he's in the office next door. So
it happens. Man, I was like, I don't know. I probably shouldn't share this story because it's not even remotely DeFi related. But just like right before I got on the stream, like I was getting a little emotional. So this weekend, I was training jiu-jitsu, and they had a belt ceremony for like the first time they've been able to have it since the pandemic. So it's basically if you're getting one of those higher belts, they give them all out. Everybody who gets one has to like make a little speech, and some of them were like super emotional. Like one guy who I really like and learn a lot from. He's one of the instructors. Like a couple years ago, he was like tried to commit suicide and was interrupted in the middle of it, and that type of stuff. You just saved his life and all that. So anyway, it was an emotional day already. But then after that, you just try to wreck these dudes. Like after they get their belt, it's just one after the other, and you're just trying to wreck them. But so it was a tough day for all of us as far as like physical output. And then after that was done, we went in and did like several rounds of actual training. But anyway, long story short, I think we're done. I'm exhausted. I just like emptied the tank. I was like totally done. And the professor's like, "Cool, one more 5-minute round." I'm like, "Are you serious?" Like, I'm crushed. Like, I can barely hold my arms up. So I get matched up with this dude who's as big as me and a higher belt, and I'm just like, I'm gonna get crushed by this guy. You know what I mean? So so I roll with him, and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, I'm just gonna let him submit me. Like, he's a higher belt, and like I can barely move. Like, I'm doing everything I can to like take deep breaths. It was rough. And but I'm just like, I've just fought through it, like just tried to defend myself, just tried to make sure I didn't get submitted, but I like wasn't mounting an incredible offense. But after like 4 minutes into the round, I could tell he was getting kind of tired too.
Gassing out.
Opening, and I caught him in this submission. So it was like, it was good. I caught him in the submission, got it, felt great about it. And he's a higher belt, more skilled than I am, so it's always like nice to have that done. But more like I just pushed myself through the mental barrier. So that was cool. It ended like I thought that it was over. We got the pictures back, so there was a lady there that was taking photos, and she was just snapping all these candid photos of people doing whatever. So anyway, I found one of me with that guy like a few seconds before I submitted him. I'm like, oh, that's cool that they caught this moment or whatever. And then And then I look at the photo again, like a few minutes later, and I realize like in the very bottom left-hand corner, my kid is in the photo, and he's just staring at me. So this is after all the kids left. They're all in the parking lot eating tacos, enjoying the celebration. My kid decided that he needed to come watch and come like, watch me work and make sure I was okay or whatever. So he's staring at me like during that moment or whatever, the only kid in the room. And, so it's just a lesson. Like first I was going to give up, but I didn't give up. And second, like I just did not realize he was sitting there watching and,
taking it all in,
soaking it all in or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like the coolest photo I've ever seen. Anyway, I was just reviewing that and looking into it or whatever, sharing the photo right before I got on. But emotional
That's
moment.
cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll share it with you guys.
Yeah, send it me.
Sorry, getting phone calls. Cool. Took us off track there. What?
That's cool. It's nice.
What
Personal stories are good, man.
Let me see if I can do that. Let me see if I can share the photo so you guys are like, I don't know what the hell this dude's talking about.
No nudes, dude.
No nudes.
DMs
I
only
gotta
for
make
that.
I gotta make sure I send the right one. Because what could happen. All right, hold on. Time out. Way off track. These guys are like, hey, we joined for DeFi news.
Just having a chat and sending photos to each other.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to upgrade my truck.
We are going to talk about crypto here in a sec, I promise. All right, I'll send it in my group. People are going to not know what I'm doing, but it'll make sense soon. Let's do this one too.
I'm 100 food books short of upgrading level 2.
Oh yeah.
I was looking at that 5th truck, and then all the levels on that. Oh, that one will rake it in if you upgrade that thing.
That's
nasty.
Once we get above like 50, 60 BNB, if someone upgrades level 5 on truck 5. Good luck fighting them.
Okay, let me see if I can share this. Way off track. Let's see. Share screen. Can I share it? I just want to. I don't like how this shares the screen. Window. How about this? All right, can you guys see that?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So here's the photo. This is like I said, a few seconds before I ended up catching this guy, and so I saw the photo. I'm like, okay, that's a cool photo, black and white, looks rad. And then like it took me like several minutes, and I noticed my kid's down here in the corner.
That's
He
awesome,
just
man.
kneeled down and checking things out or whatever. Like I said, only kid that came back to the space to watch the adults roll. But I was when I say I was gonna give up, like I was dead. Like I was just rolling around, like trying to make sure I didn't get choked. Like it was everything I could do to just keep myself alive. But yeah, that's him. That's him in the corner.
That's
But
awesome, man.
it was pretty rad, dude. It was a good moment. It was a good
Love
moment. So anyway, teared up a little bit this afternoon. Good kid. He's a good kid. Okay. Back to DeFi. Let's talk about what we want to talk about. What do we want to start with? There's some bangers. Pulse Drip's up above $20. Carol's taking off. Richie's Miner's still doing really well.
Yep.
There's a handful of protocols that are doing well amongst the shit that's out there.
Yeah.
It's just been a total train wreck lately. We do have a few winners that are seeming to do well, and some that seem like, I mean, they could maybe do really well. Bitcoin's up at 34,000. I mean, we're seeing like a
Mini ballroom.
we're seeing, but I think there's a possibility this would totally break the mold. Because normally after the Bitcoin halving, which is next year, then 6 months after that, or ramping up right after that, is when most bull runs happen. And everyone who's the internet expert out there is just sure that that's exactly how it's going to go, as if there's no other catalysts for bulls or bears. But I think if this Bitcoin ETF thing that they're trying to force through goes through, then they're going to need a bunch of Bitcoin to be able to do that. They're going to have to buy that up, which is going to spike spiked the Bitcoin price up quite a bit.
Yeah.
That spike, of course, when the tide rises, Bitcoin brings up all other altcoins, including the other big boys like Ethereum and everything. So we could see if that really does happen, which at this point, like, it seems like it's inevitable. The SEC does everything they can to tear down crypto. Crypto wins pretty much every single battle with the SEC. They'll take shots at Binance, Ripple, anything they can. They just keep losing because there's no basis for these things. They never set any rules in place of what is and what isn't a specific type of assets and all that. So if those rules aren't in place, like, how are you going to enforce a law that doesn't exist yet? So this is where, like, the regulation comes in. But if that Bitcoin ETF does go live, which seems like it's inevitable at this point, that could force Bitcoin price to go crazy, and then everyone will be like, crypto's back again, and be dumping in all their extra funds. Granted, with inflation and the way everything else is going in the US and around the world right now, there's a lot less liquid capital to go around, but people are going to find it and spend it on crypto. So I'm interested to see what we're going to be looking at here over the next couple months in crypto. We could see a forced bull run just based on this massive influx of institutional capital that's going to have to go into Bitcoin. So we could see some good news.
Yeah, I saw the most recent news was a contributory factor to the pump was the listing or the ticker on the DTCC website, and then obviously it squeezed the loads of shorts and got liquidated, but now that's been taken off the DTCC website. That site's gone down. So is that them trying to liquidate the longs from the bulls back down, and then up it goes again on the website, and then that's the bull trap well and truly done and finished with, and then we do see the natural movement from the ETFs, because the SEC, as we all know, they're just suing everybody because they're a civil body, aren't they? They have to sue. They're not part of the criminal side of things. So obviously from that Jerome Powell plonker over your way, and we've got the same sort of people in the cabinet and the Houses of Parliament over here. The regulation in the UK, all of a sudden, the last 3 weeks, is from nowhere. We had small issues, then all of a sudden it was a blanket ban on deposits and withdrawals.
Yeah.
Then it was a 2-week delay for me to trade on Binance. It was allowed back for 1 day, and now I can't even access my account without this particular pop-up saying you must confirm on the app. You go to the app and it says due to the UK. I shared a picture of it. UK, forced marketing strategy or whatever they called it. And since then, I haven't been able to use Binance to even off-ramp $10, which I used to be able to do up to 100. Now I have to change now to Ethereum and send the Ethereum to my Ledger card, and then Ethereum into pounds. By the time you've done it all, if you send 100, you end up with like 60 because of the fees and obviously the gas and the, So I hope that we are in a place where we do kind of see, not necessarily a bull run yet, but a forced bull run because of the ETFs and the fact that the SEC can't stop, things like Ripple. I mean, look at that. Monumental. How long's that been going on? 18 months, 2 years, something like that?
Yeah.
And they're losing again. It's just
more
ridiculous.
than 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. Keith, what's your take while we're on?
I was the same as Lee. So I woke up one morning to find my Bybit account had all my positions had been liquidated into USDT, and I was given one transaction to take it out of Bybit. That was it. It was like, you just have to take it out. You've got one transaction. Where do you want it to go? And they just literally just like that. But I'm kind of, I'd like not a crazy bull run, like a nice little pump now, just to get people interested again and get people in before the halving. So we're in a really nice position for the halving next year. And then then it's off. Then once that, like you said, three or 4 months after the halving, then and it just goes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm hoping.
I'm interested. There was a lot of there was a lot of folks that were calling for a new low. A lot of folks calling for a new low for sure. It's getting under 15. We're going to 12. Might be 8. Whatever, you know. And so many people were saying that. I was kind of coming out and saying like, it's almost like too many people are saying that. There's a good chance that we don't go. You know, people thought I was stupid, but here we are at the range we're at. And if it stays between, I don't know, 25 and 40, and we just even bounce around in that until the halving, that could be a pretty interesting scenario for where this thing's going to go. But I do think it is the time. It's been the time, but it's always tough to do, to accumulate. Now, whatever you're going to accumulate, that's a different story. You know, we could see a 10x in Bitcoin. It could be fantastic. We could not see that. We could see a 3x. And we could see a 1,000x in a bunch of different altcoins. So where you put your money, you know, that's interesting. I don't think there's anything wrong with owning some big boys, but I definitely want to make sure that I'm positioned well enough in some of these altcoins because that's where the real money's made. Like I'd love to 5x my Ethereum. Fantastic. You know, it's not going to change my life, but I'd love to 3,000x my Carol or, you know, whatever the next thing that's going to pop off is. So I'm accumulating, and just kind of seeing where it goes. I do think that like Polygon in this next run could be big. Matic.
I like Matic.
Yeah, load up on that. You know, there's a few that I think that are more mainstream. Matic's pretty mainstream. You know, Starbucks, all these places have done deals on the Polygon chain. So we'll see. It could really take off in the next bull run. But that's one I could think at 100x or whatever. But it should be interesting. But yeah, we're in a weird spot right now because we're in between things pumping and looking like they might go crazy and all this extra regulation kind of shutting things down in the UK. Obviously, we've had issues on ramping and off ramping our own crypto on our own protocol. And so it just makes for some challenges. But let me
talking about Carol, obviously that's one of the protocols that he's doing super well. And
yeah, why don't we hit it? Let me see if I can share my screen.
Let's have a look at the stats.
It's right at 2 cents.
Yeah, it's just been listed on the bank as well a few hours ago. Yeah, now it shows up on the bank, so that's going to be good for it as well now.
Definitely. Where is screen? I want to share. That'll work. Okay, cool.
Oh, there we go.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, total liquidity over the last 10 days has jumped from like 100K to 476K. So
been mental in it.
Pretty big increase in a short amount of time for something that like they haven't done crazy marketing on, and they also started that process late. I mean, you'll see protocols that do really well that ramp it up, and they're at the, you know, that they hit this in the first week. But Carol launched and then really like didn't come out super hot. It was really like a slow burn for like 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks, and then has started to take off like really big time in the last 10 days. So I think it's just over a month old, 476, and it's gathering steam right now. And obviously, since crypto is hold on, let me decline this call. Business. What was I saying? I think because the crypto is getting a boost, people are starting to look at protocols like, oh, this could be the next big one. You know, obviously everyone wants to get in early on the next drip and see if they can make, you know, $50,000 a week from their positions or whatever. So I think everyone's kind of jumping in, but I expect this to be well over 500,000 in the next couple of days. And I love watching the token price increase. People are obviously taking profits. This has been bouncing up and down around 2 cents, but I think that's healthy. Once people can get to ROI, it becomes a lot more fun.
I think also the fact that you can only, you know, the maximum stake in income is 150%. So although people say, how is 3%, like yours on there is 2.96%, how is that sustainable? Well, it's sustainable on a factor of the fact that you can only sort of cheat out 150% max. The fact that you have to bond the token and it's not just sitting there liquid in wallets. The fact that your percentage is kind of personal to you, depending on your own behaviors. The evolution of beards. So I think that people are gaining a little bit of confidence in this protocol because it's designed it's designed for you to ROI and take profit. But if you are overly aggressive with that strategy, there will come a point in the not so distant future where your account's gone. And like me, I bought in when liquidity was just under 100 or just over 100, whatever it was, and the token price was say 0.15 cent. Well, if this continues to run and I'll wreck my account, and then in December I want to buy back in, it's going to cost me more to bond. And if Ethereum's going up at the same pace, because obviously, Ethereum goes up and the token price goes up and liquidity goes up, the sell pressure doesn't affect it as much because you've got deep liquidity. So it's like there's multiple factors that are at play, and it's got a solid incentive program. It's not overly aggressive. The base Ethereum goes straight to the referer's wallet, and that enables people who do get the ETH in referral fees to be able to match it to the bond of the Carol token. So technically, you're getting a free stake. If you bond 1,000 Carol for $20 and you've got $20 in ETH from referrals, you can then take that bonded Carol, pair it with the referred ETH, and create a new stake. So it's continuously entering into the protocol. So it's pretty bullish. I like it. It's a nice project, and the devs are cool, responsive. Obviously, you like having your retinas burnt out on screen. I prefer to have it a little bit darker.
I have the dark one, so I've been going back and forth between dark mode because I like dark mode on pretty much everything. But it's so dark that sometimes it makes my camera. It's not too bad today, but I tried to do the video like that. I couldn't even see myself. So I prefer dark mode on most things, but preference, whatever people like. I do think it's a good protocol. These dudes did another project. For those who don't know, they did a few other projects, but they did, gosh, what was it called? Something bee. They did some sort of bee farm or something like that. And they did it originally. Okay. I think it was originally on ETH. And then they did a BNB one. They did one on Tron. They did a handful of them that were successful. So no security issues or whatever. The team's solid. They've been around for a while, so it's good. Obviously, none of this financial advice, who knows? People are weird. Yeah, I think you give sometimes honest people a few $1,000,000 and all of a sudden it start itching. So you never really know. Definitely protect yourself, use risk capital, all those disclaimers, but they've never had an issue in the past. I think this one's going to be good. Carol has a lot of potential, and with Bitcoin shooting up like this, Ethereum is obviously going to get pulled with it, and this is just an Ethereum machine. So it's just an ATM that's pumping out Ethereum. So I'm pumped about that because I need to increase my Ethereum position. I used to have a lot, kind of sold some off, and now I just have a little position. I would say that's not great. So if I could stack up a few more ETH to add to that, I'd be pumped.
Yeah, ETH's bullish.
Yeah, for sure. So it'd be a good one. So I threw a link down there. Also, I should have gotten your guys' links and added them in the description, but we've got a few things to add in here. But this Carol is going really well. For those who don't know, it's pretty simple. You buy Carol with ETH. It's on the base chain. I'm bullish on sort of all things base chain right now. Everything's kind of taken off. You had the WildX popping off. That's got some cool tokenomics. You just have a bunch of cool protocols that I think are starting out over there that are going to do well. And it seems like most of them are honest devs so far, right? Eventually folks will come around and we'll get some more of the riffraff, but right now protocols are popping off, and because it's new, it's going well. It's kind of like Pulse Chain. Reminds me of Pulse Chain. Like once people really started developing on Pulse Chain, some of those projects just went wild. So I think maybe we'll see something similar on Base Chain. And they've got, if Coinbase as a centralized exchange ever acknowledges or advertises or just kind of what's the phrase I'm looking for, vouches for any protocol over on Base Chain, that could be insane. Because right now I think it's the biggest centralized exchange in the US. So there's a ton of people that are users, but all of them are just these base buy and hold type crypto users that's just sitting over there on there. They don't even realize that there's a big risk to have some, their crypto on centralized exchanges. But if you started to just let those people know, hey, there's could be a lot of money to be made over in DeFi, you could see a massive swing.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty interesting. And protocols that are trusted, if they ever kind of like vouched for Carol, said, hey, one of the best protocols we have on our chain is Carol. Oh my gosh, the amount of money that would flow in, probably tens
Millions.
of dollars. Yeah. And it would go crazy. I mean, it would go bonkers. So who knows if that will happen, but eventually it will happen. Eventually there's going to be some way for Coinbase to monetize the stuff that's happening on their chain, and they'll figure out a way to spike a bunch of those protocols and shave capital off of it somehow.
It's a good point, actually. I'm actually fully KYC'd on Coinbase. It was the first ever exchange that I joined with,
And me. Yeah.
Me
Understand.
too.
Yeah, and I didn't know at the start that keeping money, well, none of us did, keeping money on a central exchange was a bad idea. I just, blindly paid with my debit card. I think I got £100 worth of Bitcoin, thinking I was an absolute baller, buying 68k.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, sound, happy days. And I said to the missus, I'll turn this into 200 in a month. Watch this, free money. And then didn't. And then obviously, as we got more experienced and found DeFi, you start listening to sometimes the wrong people, sometimes the right people. And we could actually, I might explore my Coinbase account. The only reason I stopped using Coinbase, funny story, I watched a video and I put some Bitcoin and Ethereum on BlockFi. It's earn whatever it was, 16% a year. It's the safest place to put it. And then obviously it died a death. And I'm still getting American letters all the way over. They're sending me these letters. I've got about $40 in BlockFi. Well, I'm part of the libel case. What do you call it when there's loads of them? What do you call that in America when there's lots of cases? Class action lawsuit, yeah. So I'm getting like massive pieces of statements and bankruptcy, section this and section that. So honestly, that's why I got into Coinbase, because it matched with Block. You could transfer over to BlockFi and stuff. And I do think your point is valid, where if this base chain does continue to be successful and continues to be bullish, which I see no reason why not, because I do like it, and it makes Ethereum fun again, paying 6 cents in gas instead of, it cost me $8 to send 50 earlier to my bank card. To see, you're using Ethereum at 6 cents in gas fees, I love that side of things. And if that some of that money on that exchange could merge over to DeFi in the future, then wow, yeah, I agree. Insane.
Yeah, could be insane. That's my same experience. I joined Coinbase. I bought a Bitcoin. When I joined, they were only selling Bitcoin. I think I bought one Bitcoin for $600.
Wow.
And then I sold it at $1,200. I was like, 100% gain. Awesome. Kept it for a couple more years. Oops. And then I bought a bunch of Ethereum when it first came out, and it was cheap. I'll have to look back. Like I was buying $9 Ethereum or something like that. And I had a bunch of it. And when it doubled, I sold most of it. And Litecoin
That's
too.
natural.
If I would have kept my Ethereum and my Litecoin, not even including the Bitcoin, I mean, I would have made probably a couple 100,000. But I made good money. You know what I mean? Made a solid 5-figure takeaway. I was all proud of myself, but I could have made a lot. And so I'm kicking myself, but that's how it goes. I now understand the crypto cycles more. Back then it was really speculative, and there was no real use cases. For the most part, people were buying pizzas with a couple 100,000 Bitcoin and stuff.
Yep.
So it wasn't like people knew what was coming, but it's pretty crazy. But anyway.
Well, me and my business partner in 2013, someone offered to give us some Bitcoin, and I'm not talking hundreds of thousands of them, but it was like, try this, 100 Bitcoin, in the future you'll be able to pay for stuff. And we literally, everyone's got a Bitcoin story. We never did it.
Yeah.
And we just said, no, mate. It was like literally you had to buy it on the street corner. It was like a shady little drugs and alcohol transfer. And we were like, nah, it's all right, mate. You can keep it.
Yeah.
And we'd have probably sold if we'd have bought say 100 at 20 cents, we'd have sold it at 50 cents.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
it was doubling your money and we were out. The risk was gone.
Yeah.
But obviously, hindsight is 2020. So we live and learn, and now we know a little bit more. We're a little bit more versed, even though we still get wrecked every now and again.
Yeah.
It's still fun to do. And I wouldn't. The one thing I do say is what you can't put a price on, and this is going to sound cheesy AF, but without being in DeFi and in crypto, I wouldn't be sitting here doing YouTube videos, meeting people like yourselves, dabbling in it myself, trying to learn the blockchain, always trying to educate myself on new stuff. And you think of how many people we talk to in a day. I've got more friends in crypto than I ever have had in real life. I pick the phone up to like 5 people in real life who I can class as people I'd rely on. I've probably got 20 people who I could instantly call, or if I needed money right now because they were going to take my house from me, I'm pretty sure there's people who would pay my mortgage or rent for a month if I needed it. I can't say that for the real life people, but I know there's people here that would. So it's one thing I've got to thank crypto for.
Yeah, it's a trip. Crypto, just the YouTube community, social media, like you can really make some good connections. I just went on that trip out to Sacramento, and how that all came into play was like, originally I met this guy online. He's an Ultimate Fighter, was fighting, on the Ultimate Fighter or whatever, and he just needed some help. He was trying to buy a business, and so he was looking for some funding. And anyway, we went through that whole process together. So we became friends that way, and talked on the phone a handful of times or whatever, and chatted over Instagram forever. But we just became friends, and eventually he was connected somehow with this tattoo artist I had been following. I was wondering, how are you guys connected? It's like he's the godfather to his son or whatever. So anyway, they're really tight. Ended up meeting that guy who's an artist I've always wanted to work with out at one of these tattoo conventions we worked. And so got everything ready for him for a collab, flew out and did some work there, took my videographer, got a bunch of film, made it a marketing exercise that we needed to do. And then I met up with my buddy who's the UFC fighter, went down to the gym and watched him train for a little bit, and then met a bunch of active roster UFC fighters or whatever, saw them, went out to lunch with one guy that is an ex-UFC fighter that I've known forever, Uriah Faber. So I got to have lunch with him and his family or whatever, and I'm tight with all those guys. 100% came from social media. Never met them in real life before. Connected on there, went and connected. So you can meet people in the digital community, and then it bridged over into real life. Obviously, we all started a business together, and we're trying to arrange some trips out so we can link up and do some of this stuff live. But it is a pretty sweet experience. Here's another guy that I met in person after being Beach Office 365.
Yo, Luke.
Yeah, he jumped
All
in.
right, Luke.
So for those of you guys who didn't see, it was probably 6 months ago or something like that. Got to catch up with my guy, Luke, over in California when I was out there for vacation. We went and had lunch and everything. But just another prime example of a super stud who met in a completely digital world and then bridged over into real life. And now we're buddies, and it's pretty cool.
Obviously, the bad side of it is that we met Keith. And he never buys the beer when I meet him in the pub. He brings his phone to talk about dev work. Never buy. I had to buy his food the one day in the pub, mate.
Yeah. Well,
I'm terrible.
I think actually Keith got the food bill that day.
I'm pretty sure I did, actually. Yeah.
He phoned me the other day. He's like, "All right, dude." I was like, "Yeah, sound. Why? What's up?" Well, the missus has gone shopping with the kids, so I'm in the pub where we went. I was like, "Okay, thanks, Keith.
cool.
Is there anything you need to talk to me about?" No, I just want to tell you I'm in the pub.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to be in the pub with you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to happen soon enough. I was trying to come out at the end of this year, but some things just went sideways, unfortunately, and I wasn't able to make that trip happen. But it'll happen before too long. That'll be pretty fun.
Yeah, Q1 2024. We'll make it happen
For sure. Well, this stream kind of went like way more personal and macro crypto and everything. Like I kind of brought everyone on to talk about specifically a couple of protocols that were getting wins. We hit Carol, so that's good. But Carol's looking solid. I think it could maybe stand the test of time. Looks really interesting. Obviously, we'll know more, but this is definitely one that I think is going to be at least reach like that 6-month mark. So beyond that, it's the DeFi world. We've all seen crazy stuff where stuff just skyrockets and then ends up dying off. Yeah. Another one is Pullstrip. It's been doing really well. I mean, it's above 20. It skyrocketed, came back down, sat at 15 in the 15 range for a couple months, and then it dipped down to like 11. And I was like, okay, here we go. This could be the end. It could start to dwindle down, and then it shot back up to 20. So you're seeing some really good growth here. That's another killer one. Like Spark Swap, I think, unless we want to spend more time on this, I think we got to give the folks the new protocol that's dropping the game. What do you guys think?
Yeah, man, let's
talk a little bit about that. Okay.
A lot's changed since this morning,
So Street Vendor Wars.
You need to update.
Yeah, play to earn game.
Yeah. I've literally updated it just before I came on. So there you go.
Okay, there you go. I'm connected on this other one, so I'll jump over to this other screen. But Street Vendor Wars is a game that we thought was cool, and we tasked Keith to create. So it's a play to earn game mixed with a miner, and I'll let you guys discuss a little bit more. But I've been playing with it over the last day, and I'm not a big gamer. Like I don't really get into games, but this one just for whatever reason, like I do, it does give me FOMO. Like you start by buying a truck, and then you can level up the trucks, or you can get more trucks, and that increases your stake and how much you're actually getting, how much you're earning every 24 hours. So you earn more tokens, and then obviously you can sell those tokens off or use them to rebuy. But anyway, I'll let you guys explain the game because you'll explain it better for me. But as a non-gamer who doesn't really get into stuff like this, it gives me some of the old school feels, like the really old games we used to play, like
GTA 1,
Nintendo, or GTA 1, just way back in the day. And I don't know, I dig it, and so I'm in here actually making purchases and trying to have fun with it. So let's see how
I've just bought. I was going to say refresh. I've just been buying as well.
About 4.5.
4 sticks. Nice.
That's not too bad. So when are we officially launching this thing?
So it's officially fully live now, just without the animations, and there's a couple more UI improvements I want to make. But it plays 100%. As long as you don't want flash animations and sounds, it plays 100% now.
And you're adding some countdown timers, a couple little.
Yeah. So there's going to be a 24-hour countdown timer, because after 20, if you don't claim within 24 hours, your truck stop generating. So it's a 24-hour countdown timer, and there's going to be the other timer I've got to get in. I just want to put in an accumulation timer, just how much you're making per hour, but kind of have it actually count up. But it's the way I've done it, it's running in blocks, not on time. So I've just got to sync it up with the blockchain to kind of like work its way up. So
makes sense.
It's just, so it's just but today we're just getting it to where it, because we released it to the Foodtopian DAO, and they give me like a list of things that they thought needed changing and stuff. So to add in. So today I've mainly been doing that, but tomorrow I might get some animation into it, get a few timers on there, and then we're pretty much there.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm replying to something. So I guess that's important. If you're watching the stream and you're interested in playing this play to earn game, super easy, BNB in. The protocol is live now. It's one of those ones that you'll be benefited if you get in early. So it's kind of live just after the beta stage. Like you could get in now, and it would actually benefit you to do it. So if you're watching the live, I think you're in luck if it's something that you want to do. All you do is come up here, you have BNB, you invest your BNB right here, and it gives you these food bucks. And depending on how much you have in your food bucks balance, then you can buy these trucks and upgrade them. And explain how the payouts work.
Do you want to take that, Lee?
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah.
Long story short, there's 5 food trucks, and the building in the middle that you can see is what we call the cash and carry, or the wholesalers where we buy our food, which is obviously where you claim your money's from. So like Scott said, you buy with BNB in the middle of the dashboard there. And what the currency to buy the trucks is food books. So each truck has its own level of food book cost. So you've got truck number 1. All of these trucks have got 5 levels, and there's 5 trucks. You have to buy them in order. So if you want to buy separate trucks, you have to buy food truck 1 top left, food truck 2 top right. And then once you've got your food truck and it's in its lot and parked up like Scott's are there, then you can upgrade each one. Each of them have 5 levels. And if Scott, you just click the info tab on truck 1, for instance, that is where you'll see the earning capability of leveling up. So let me just click mine so I can see.
So for me, I got in here. I originally bought my first truck to make sure it worked. I went through, everything was fine. And then I got FOMO and I bought another truck. And then I'm like, oh, I'm only a few tokens short of getting whatever. So anyway, I bought 5 trucks. So I now have 5 trucks. I FOMO'd in, but as you can see, you get more. My level 1 gets me 66 food coins per hour. If I go upgrade to level 2, I can get 198, and it goes all the way up. So you can either just upgrade one truck up certain levels, or you can buy separate trucks and then upgrade them. But this big boy down here, which is obviously massive, level 5 would get you 9,500 food tokens per hour. So it's just a way for you to earn. You're just boosting up your yield, basically.
That's the idea, is to, I mean, you've got 5 trucks there. I've got 3 trucks, but my truck number 1 is upgraded to level 2. So I'm currently earning 438 food coins per hour. Now, the food coin is what you can cash out or compound. And what you have to do every 24 hours is you have to go to the building in the middle to claim out those tokens. So basically what that does, and the way Keith's done that, is instead of people earning, let's say you earn 1,000 food coins per hour. So in 24 hours, you've got 24,000. What we don't want to happen is someone to build up for a week or 2 and then just claim out hundreds of thousands of food coins and then just dump them. So it's like an anti-whale mechanism, and it also adds game theory for you to be a participant and be regular. Now, obviously, the food coins that you earn every hour, you can then take those, claim those food coins from the building in the middle, and then you can either sell them into BNB and ROI, or you can compound them. And what that will do is transfer the food coin back into food books. So you can then use your food books that you've bought with BNB and compounded. And you can either choose to use that to upgrade one of your trucks or buy one that you don't have. For instance, like I said, I've only got 1, 2, and 3. I need that red one that Scott's got on the right-hand side. So my next purchase is going to be that food truck, and then the 5th one at the bottom. And then I can really work on adding BNB to upgrade these trucks. And the idea is that you're fighting other players to upgrade your trucks quicker than everyone else. And then as the contract balance grows, which is locked, by the way, we've got no access to it, it's all on the blockchain. You basically you're trying to beat other players to upgrade your truck to the best food truck on the lot. And that's going to earn you more yield per hour, which you can sell into BNB or compound to upgrade everything. Because like Scott said, that truck at the bottom, if you upgrade that to level 5, you are balling with food coins. You're going to be earning some decent BNB. So it's pretty simple once you get into the website and have a look. And we're all having fun with it. And like we say, the contract balance, this is day 1. It was launched, late last night for us, and we had to fix some UI cosmetics. The contracts are all fine. The UI is perfectly fine. It's just feedback from the consumers that we need to respond to, and Keith has been working on that all day. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, day one, it's kind of like it's really a soft launch. Like, we really haven't told anybody about this. We've had our DAO group just doing some testing, make sure it works, and had them add a little BNB to the contract, but we haven't. I mean, you put out a little video this morning, right, Lee, just on the mechanics of how to get in and how to get started, and just really getting in super early. But
Yep.
I mean, official launch day, for all intents and purposes, is really like tomorrow. So it's some you want to get into and play around. Just a fun little minor play to earn game that I think people will FOMO into. And as crypto gets a little bit better, I mean, if it's something that we're ever to kind of go semi-viral, I mean, it could be major payouts for people. So fun little game, and could be a big winner. So just hoping it works well for everybody.
Should do, Scott. Just check the private message, because you've posted the old link. I've got a new link now. In the private message, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. But it works the same. But it's just there's now one more permanent link there now.
Better link. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, instead of it all there. They work exactly the same. It's just a better.
No worries.
The good thing about it as well regarding referrals, the reason we chose to add the referrals at a sustainable rate, you're not getting massive amounts of food books for people who are buying and selling, or buying the food books with BNB. It's just you get a nice little kickback in food books. So if you're like 50 food books away from an upgrade and someone uses your link, it might just give you that boost to be able to just upgrade your truck with some extra food books. And if anything, with these new MLM style, Global Aid and Affiliate Advertising Club and Infinity PI and these new buying a pack things have shown us that people in Telegram have had 10 times the referrals that I had putting a video out to 6,000 people and 2,000 people on Twitter. So it's not just limited to people who've got big followings, because people now are looking for degen plays, minor plays, and fun plays. And people keep saying to me all the time, where do I find these new plays? Well, there's one in front of you. So shill it to your friends, shill it to your mates in crypto, or don't. It's just, like you said, Scott, we haven't gone full bore into marketing because we understand what this is, and this will never be deleted. Even if it had a massive run up and then the contract balance was GT'd out, this game will remain, because we will continue to add small amounts of BNB to it, and it could have 2 runs, 3 runs. We don't need to do like a baked beans 1, 2, 3, 4 to be able to keep this sustainable. It's always going to be there because it's part of our ecosystem.
Yeah, so just when you get in, like you see Scott's posted his body link below, before you do your first buy, you've got to put a body link in there. There's a space down the bottom, a referral link. Scott one, that will be empty. If you're going with a new wallet, that'll be empty. Just paste it in there and then do your first buy. You've only got to do it the first time you go in, and then after that it automatically remembers your body and they'll just get the kickback. If you don't put an address in there, it won't physically let you buy. You need someone to refer you in to be able to get in. So you just share your link about. So all you got to do is share the link Scott's put in and the wallet address that you're playing the game with. Don't give them a wallet address you're not playing the game with, because it'll bring them in, but then there's no way of changing the body address, and then obviously then you won't actually get any food but coins, because you'll have no account for it to like send the food coins to make sure it's an account that you're physically playing with, that you send them the link to put in the bottom. I know Lee did a video about putting the link in, but I think tomorrow I'll probably do a proper full instruction video on it and get it out there.
Lee had to go grab a drink for his son. I think it's for his son. He's probably grabbing a beer. He's likes to blame it on his kids, but yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. Pretty easy. You go to the link, you'll sign in. It's under BNB. I think we're going to do one under Pulse Chain eventually, but it's easy from here. You just put your buddy code down in here, and you can use anybody's. I think on Lee's video, he's got all 3 of our wallet addresses on there. You can use anybody's. It's all the same to us. We're just having fun with the game. You put it in there. You'll accept that. Then you'll put your BNB up in here and buy. It'll give you the amount of food tokens, your food bucks balance, and then you'll be able to buy. This first one is it 7 something?
You need 0.07 BNB will get you started in the game.
Okay. 0.07 BNB is the minimum for you to be able to buy this truck. So you would do that. It would give you your food bucks balance here. and then you'd upgrade or you purchase your first truck. Then if you get FOMO like I did, you can buy your second truck, third, fourth, fifth, and then you start talking about upgrades. Or you can just focus on truck number one. You can buy the first one, you can upgrade to level 2, you can upgrade to level 3. So it's your choice of how you want to balance it out.
All you've got to do is make sure you buy them in order. Like if you jump in first and try and buy the second food truck, it will just auto buy the first one for you. You won't get charged the price of the second one, but it auto buys, because the contract buys them in the order that they are going down. So you just got to make sure just buy. So, but then like Scott's just said, if you just want to buy truck number one, you can buy truck number one and upgrade that. You haven't got to buy all the other 4 trucks before you can upgrade truck number 1 to truck number 2. You just can't upgrade. You just got to buy them in order. So now Scott's got all 5 trucks in there. He can just pick, like, if you can concentrate on upgrading number 1 now if he wants, or
yeah.
Like
yeah, so you can't go straight in and buy food truck number 5. It's not available yet. You got to buy them in the order that they're available. Give them our addresses. Is there
just wallet address?
So
just wallet address.
Yeah,
just wallet address. Can you like load it in, Scott, on a wallet that hasn't got anything in? Just so I can just load it up, and then I can just explain it a bit better. Refresh on that one, and then. Okay, cool. Right, so you see that looks different now at the bottom. There's actually a place to just paste the wallet address in, and you literally just paste it there. Don't just press enter. Just paste it in there, and then go up to the top and buy your food box, and then that's it. Then as soon as you've done that first buy, that then locks that wallet address in as your buddy wallet address. Then, and that's it. Then you've only got to do it the first time.
Yeah, but there's no that we know of, unless this is something you're going to create. There's no link that pre-populates.
No, right, there was going to be a link, but because it's running on my server and Foodtopian's server, because it's kind of both, if I could only create a permalink from one or the other, so then if someone came from my website and they give it as a referral, so this is the only way I could think of doing it, where it would make it so it doesn't matter where you've come from, you can just put it in.
Gotcha.
Kind of like the idea of pasting a wallet address, because it's simple. Here's the link to the website. Paste my wallet address in, and away you go.
Well, if we did it the other way as well, we'd have the same issue that Carol's getting. That if they clicked onto it from here, but then decided to click anywhere else to have a look at anything, they'd then lose a referral wallet address. It wouldn't store it. Mm-hmm. So this way, then because I know Lee, you've had a few people that have got under you on Carol, and you've missed them because they've decided to click around the site.
Yeah,
because obviously at some point there's going to be like tomorrow I'm going to make a little white paper for it. Now I've got the game structure all up, so there'll be a link to a white paper on there. So I don't want someone to then come in on someone's address for a link, then click on the white paper, which then takes them off, and then come back in, and then that link's gone, and then it won't even then, and then they'll be in a position where they won't be able to play, because the contract only lets you buy if you've got a buddy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's just the easiest way to do it.
Have you claimed any of your food coins yet, Scott?
I have not. I've just been letting it build up.
I have. So. I've claimed and compounded 3 times already.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm 100 off getting level 1 food truck for level 3. There's a food truck for number 3, level 1. So by the morning I'll have enough, or in a few hours I'll have enough to get that. So I'm just compounding that. But any money I make off this, to be completely honest, I'll just be throwing it back in the protocol anyway, because I'm not I don't need to make any money out of this. I'd rather just keep the contract balance up for other people to be making money out of it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's fun to play, and obviously, profits from this are going to help out our Foodtopian protocol to fill the coffers over there, which is super helpful. So that's just another added benefit. Helps with
just to give you an example, the money we've made in referrals already. There's enough in referrals to fill the Fries vault for all the Fries holders for a month, for example. So we're just gonna be able to just nicely fill up these vaults with all the dev money from this, and so it's all going into the ecosystem. And then we're gonna do the odd occasional buyback. I don't know when it'll be very much just buyback of the food token, but I'm not going to do it on a schedule because I don't want anyone front running us. When they know when it's going to happen, so it'll just be random buyback of the food token. And then what I'll probably do is use some of the rewards and just lock that up with just add it to liquidity, just to get some deeper liquidity on the food token as well. So it's all so you're playing it, you're earning money, and you're supporting the protocol as well. So it's all good.
Oh, you just did it there, did you?
Yeah, so let's give it a go.
There's your free food books.
Nice.
And obviously that illustrates the game theory to get as many food coins per hour from upgrading your trucks and buying new trucks. So what's the best strategy? Well, it's all different. Scott's got 5 trucks there, and he's going to now decide what to upgrade. Whereas I've only got 3 trucks, but I decided to upgrade food truck 1. So if you click the info tabs on all of the trucks, it's kind of like, this is part of the whole reason why it's called Street Vendor Wars, because everyone pretty much, there's probably a few thousand combinations of what people can do. One person could have 1 food truck and max it to level 5, and then move on to truck 2. Some people could get level 3 on truck 1 and then level 2 on truck 2, because if you get that hourly food coin yield well up and compound every 24 hours, you're probably going to be beating someone who's just sort of selling a few dollars worth of BNB every week. So it doesn't matter if you sell, because that's what we're all here for. It doesn't matter if you compound and sell. What matters is your hourly coin yield is in front of someone else's, and that's the sort of game theory. But there's no set strategy. It's kind of play to earn how you want to play to earn, and obviously.
So we worked out if you just come in and buy the first food truck, you're looking at 100 days to be able to upgrade it if you just compound. But if you don't, for example, get that up to level 1, you're then only looking at 60 days. So the more you upgrade, the more food coins, and you are going to get to a position then where you can quite easily just you'll be making enough that you can compound half, sell half, and then you'll be making that much that you'll ROI nice and quickly. So and it's not going anywhere. There's not a single function on the contract that lets me or anyone else withdraw the funds. The only way to withdraw the funds out of this is with the food coin, which is claiming with the food coin. And the food coin can only be got within the game by buying truck. So it's not going to go anywhere as long as people continue to play it. But we'll keep it on, like you said, we can keep it on the site and we can mix it up. And there's going to be a few upgrades. I might throw some surprises in along the way as people are upgrading and make things look slightly different as they upgrade and stuff like that. I've actually got some really nice 3D models of Foodtopian trucks that I might drop in there for certain, for when you hit the max upgrade or something like that. We'll see.
It's awesome. So during this downtime, I got a little hint of FOMO again, since I took my balance of the food coins that I was able to get, converted them to food bucks, bought some more BNB, and then was able to upgrade my first truck, my number 1 truck, to level 2. So to get to level 3, I got 5,900, which is a pretty good amount. But I increased my yield per hour of 66 food coins to 198. So as you can see, the best strategy is going to be to get the trucks and then upgrade to where you're getting the most. But of course, obviously that's going to cost you a good amount of money. So it's really just, playing the game. You got to understand your risk and reward. The upside would be to put in a ton of money in the beginning, get in early, and get a bunch of food tokens per hour. That's probably the best strategy, but also it adds that element of risk. So you got to figure out exactly what you want to do.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. But that's cool. Yeah, level 5 is on the 5th truck is 9,500 food tokens per hour, which is just absolutely crushing it. So it'd be a BNB printer.
Oh yeah, you look at what's 9,500. I think that's just under 0.1 BNB an hour.
Yeah,
that works out.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? So you're making. If you can type it in at the top. So if you go to the sale compound button, because the calculators still work.
Okay.
And then just type that number into go to the sell bit down the bottom and just type in that number and it'll tell you the exact amount of BNB you'll get. There's another 0. Well,
it's almost 0.01.
Yeah, so you're looking, that's per hour. Yeah.
So in a day, times that by 24, 0.24 a day. So quarter of a BNB a day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that
So
right?
yeah, no, there's another 0. Wasn't it 4? Wasn't it? I don't think you got to add another 0.
No.
I need to.
0.01 times
Hey.
24.
95
Yeah, so
bushels.
it's 0.24 BNB a day.
Yeah, yeah. So every 4 days you're making a B&B, and at that point, you won't be able to upgrade anymore, because if you've upgraded that one to 5, you've had to have upgraded all the other ones along the way. So you're in a position, so you'll be making more than that, because you'll be making off the other trucks as well.
It'd
Yeah.
be like a BNB a day, that would.
Yes, you'll be making about a B&B a day, easy.
When upgrade?
Not too bad. That's not too bad. Awesome. Well, as you can see, simple game, but easy to get FOMO. And then you want to beat out the other food truck warriors. And then, so you're upgrading your trucks. They're upgrading their trucks. You're watching the contract balance just continue to spike. And, could be some fun along the way. So just a fun little game put together.
Yeah, I might put a leaderboard chart on there now, really get the FOMO going.
Yeah. Yep. It's a minor. So the yields are coming from the internal thing in the system. It's Ponzi-nomics. That's how it's set up.
But as we move forward, there will be external revenue added to it, both from yield farms, personal capital, and business capital. So if, for instance, let's say in 3 months, the contract balance is sitting at a couple of BNB, no one's really bothered, they moved on to the next thing. And we say, you know what, we're not launching a V2 because we don't need to, everything works, it's safe. We're going to inject 50 BNB. Let's just, pluck it out the air, just whatever. And then start marketing it again. And then all of a sudden, people who have a little bit left from before say, oh, you know what, it's back up again, let's run it. And then it's not really a miner anymore. It's another part of our ecosystem that's being fed from here, there, and everywhere. So at the moment, yeah, it's a miner. It's a play to earn, bit of fun. But there's endless possibilities when it comes to us having a real world business backing up once we've got the situation sorted with regulation. But I think that's going to ease as we, every day goes. So
what's the tell me again, what's the 24-hour rule? You have to
in 24 hours, so you're making 707 an hour now, I think, or was it 767? I can't. 707. After 24 hours, your trucks will just stop generating yield. So if you don't come in for 3 days, you'll only have 24 hours worth of rewards sitting in there, and you've busted out on 2 days. Like I said, it's an anti-whale system. We don't want someone to dump a load of money in it and be like, oh, at the end of the month, I'll go in there and I'll just sell everything, and all of a sudden the contract balance just takes a massive hit and drain it. So you've got to come in and do one claim every 24 hours. So it just keeps people coming in, and it just stops someone building up, silly amounts and coming in once a week. But it's sustainable. It's not, even like we were saying then, that the bottom one where someone could be earning, a B&B every like few days. For that to be at that point, the contract balance is going to be well over the 200,000, well, about 200, 300 B&B for the amount of money that they've had to put in to even get to that stage. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's, to someone to make that much money per day, the contract balance is going to have to be quite substantial anyway for them to the money they put in to have got there.
And there was a decision made not to have an upgradable building in the middle, where you can technically, there's an option to buy 36 hours, 48 hours, so your yield can build up for longer. So for instance, if you wanted your rewards to build up over a week, you'd have to pay 10 BNB for the privilege, because then obviously you've got 7 days worth of claims. But Keith decided, and I agree, not to add that function to the protocol and keep it at 24 hours, because in crypto, especially in miners, I think you should be pretty much checking at least once a day where you're at in your own sort of journey on there. And people who don't sort of check their balances don't really play these play to earn quick fire ROI games anyway. So I think it balances nicely that you have to do something every 24 hours, even if it's just claiming and compounding or claiming and selling. At least you've got to do something to remain active in the system. So it's pretty cool.
It is cool. I like it. So a couple more UI upgrades.
There's some animations to go in there, a couple of timers to go in there, and I've got some more models for the truck, so I may consider when you level up the truck, I might even make it so it kind of changes the truck as well.
That'd be cool.
We'll see how. Yeah, so
Gold trucks for level 5.
Exactly.
Bling
That's what I'm
them out at level
thinking.
5.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. I can now the core contract's in and it's working. Everything's done. It's just I can just have some fun with it now and just muck about the UI now and get that really looking how we want it. Like we said, this is planning to stay. So even if I get it all looking nice and then it lasts 5-6 months, it's not wasted because we can just put some more funds in it to get it running off again and do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, tomorrow is all about UI upgrades. So to be completely honest, it might look a little bit different than what it does now by this time tomorrow night because I am editing it live. But I will say, because I'm editing it, if you ever go on it and you get a little thing come across the top and it says please refresh, it is purely because you happen to have been on there while I've done a UI upgrade. Yeah. It'll never be a contract upgrade. The contract's locked in now, and that's all done. It'll only be you upgrades, but I'm upgrading them on the fly as we're going. So we'll see what happens.
Nice.
It's going to look pretty cool with the little animations. It's going to add a little bit of finesse on top.
For sure. Yeah, I think that'll make it look good. So obviously this is just the end of the beta test version. Is live for the folks that are part of the community and want to jump in, keeping tabs on it. And now this will start to be, once we get the UI upgrades done, we'll start to market it a little bit and get it out to people. And, we could see this contract balance jump up a ton, and it'll be a little more fun. And the more fun it gets, the more upgrades Keith will want to do from a UI perspective. And then we got the Pulse Chain version that will come.
Well, the Pulse Chain version is actually finished because me and Lee tested it on the Pulse Chain, didn't we, Lee, when we were testing it? And then we decided, because we've got the regulatory issues getting B&B into the vaults, we were like, well, no, let's bring the B&B and white first so we can use the dev fee to pay the vault. So I've actually got a finished Pulse contract with all the functions working, ready to go. It's just a matter of basically cloning this UI and changing a few contracts. So if there's a big call for it to come over to Pulse quite quickly, I can get it over to Pulse.
The one thing we've got to be careful of, and this is what people who are watching, I'm not a developer, Scott's not a developer, Keith is the developer, but we are like, the amount of ideas that we bounce around, if Keith's thinking this way, we'll say, I think you should maybe divert to this or that. So that's why we work, because we haven't argued once, we don't ever disagree, we have conflicting interests, but we know how to do sort of constructive criticism between each other. Like, I'm a bit too hot-headed to be a dev or concentrate on one particular thing. Scott's busy, so when we link up, we have to move differently to others. And I think we decided, if we were to launch it on Pulse Chain at the same time, it just dilutes the investors. So you'll have 50 BNB here and 10 grand's worth of Pulse over here. We'd prefer to wait for the community to say, when's this launching on Pulse? We don't do BNB. We want it on Pulse. Then that's a natural transition to then say, okay, people want it. Let's supply it if the demand's there. So it's like, there's lots of stuff that we've got built. Some of the new stuff is sitting there waiting to be released. But Scott is one of the best people at saying, lads, it's great that you're working together, but every time I go to sleep, you pair are on about something new. Can you just focus on one goal? Let's smash that. And then once we've smashed that, then we'll start thinking about the roadmap. So me and Keith have had to, bow down to Scott's wisdom and say, yes, Keith, I know he's asleep, but he's right this time, When he wakes up, let's tell him we've shelved 65 of the projects that we were going to release. Yeah. And that's why we work so well, I think, as a team. And, as we've said a million times, I know where Scott lives with his family. I know where Keith lives with his family. They know where I live with my family. We're friends forever. But it just kind of works. And that's why people might say, where's your audit? Well, where's a lot of the audits that rugged thousands of other projects? We're always on camera. We're always doxed. We're like a little family now, and we've got a family of people that support us. So we kind of listen to what the customers and the consumers want, And as a team, if we can deliver it and deliver it properly, and yes, we have trials and tribulations. Like we are going to say that's got Ponzonomics. We need to use Ponzonomics to help us through a regulatory time of difficulty. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, it'll be tomorrow. We're saying we've had a few problems and it's hit us hard, but the business is thriving. We're all well and happy, and we're happy to come on camera and discuss it, Mark. So we want you to know that, you know, none of this is ever financial advice, but one thing I can give you advice on is that we are the most solid, loyal and loving team that you'll meet in DeFi. I guarantee that without no shakes.
Yeah, and this is just another protocol it's a lot of fun. We're not doing anything crazy where we're bringing on millions and millions of dollars, and there's some backdoor lending thing, which is where the funds are supposed to come from, or trading or whatever. It's a pretty simple concept. With the other side, with Footopian, you see our food truck out there selling products. It's not crazy. It's not a crazy TBL project. It's just a nice external revenue source we figured out how to make work, and then we'll continue to scale. This is just a nice play to earn minor game, which you guys know us. You should feel comfortable playing the stuff that Keith creates, and so it's nothing crazy. As much as we'd love to see $100 million in this project, a lot of this stuff is kind of, we're having fun trying to make DeFi fun again, because it just goes in and out of these periods where DeFi is total trash. It's hard to invest in any project or really have any fun, and so this is just a good band-aid for now. We're seeing a lot of good news out in the general crypto market over the last couple of days. So we could get some really good news, but until then, we're going to bring trusted protocols and have a little bit of fun with it. And as much as we can add in external revenue sources and make these things last, we're 100% going to do that. But I think it's very much a case of what you see is what you get with anything we work on.
100%.
So this one's cool. If you guys are interested in playing this one, minimum investment, some of the perks of it, minimum investment, doesn't really take a lot of time. It's going to get FOMO from people because it's, just a fun protocol to play with. It's on BNB, so the gas fees, you couldn't see my drop down, I think, when I was using my Ravi. The gas fees are like 3 or 4 cents. So that makes me super happy. And so, just a fun little protocol to play. You got to jump in once a day, take an action. We think it'll do well. And especially once we start kind of marketing, we think people will jump in and have a little bit of fun with it. So it can have 1 or 2 or 3 lives, whenever we want to re-inject capital and boost it back up. So it should be a fun game for everyone to play. And I think the decision to hold off on the Pulse chain is the right one. That's definitely what my 2 cents is. As much as I love Pulse chain, I think it's ideal to go BNB first because of what we have set up over on Footopian. And secondly, we're going to find more things that we want to change from a UI perspective. So whether it's upgrading the trucks or a countdown timer or whatever, we're going to get feedback over the next couple of weeks from a lot of people of tweaks we need to make the game even that more fun, because the game has the potential, once it's fully built out and we get these upgrades done, to have that little viral effect, and we could see a crazy surge, and it would be super fun for everyone who got involved, particularly those who got involved early. Once that's done and we've got this system that's working really well, it's going to be a lot easier to fork that over and do it on Pulse chain and clone the UI than it is to have 2 separate protocols running at the same time, splitting liquidity and having to do upgrades on both sides with the UI back and forth, and thinking, hey, did we make that change on both sides or have we only done it on one yet? So I think the idea is really nail this and try to make it as perfect as it's going to be over the next handful of weeks, and then launch it on Pulse chain too, because there's a bunch of Pulse heads that are going to want to play this if it's specifically in Pulse, which I'm a huge fan of because I'm super bullish on Pulse in the long term.
So I'm just buying another truck. Hang on.
You're good.
You lost that.
Mark just did it. I literally did it. Like, it's, and for those watching, I don't know how it would even work, but the protocol didn't give me money to invest in my own trucks, right? Like, obviously it's our own protocol, so I would just be paying myself, but we're just playing this game with our own funds too, just like you guys. So it's not like I'm minting myself free trucks and then, I'm just going to mint a level 5 of my, of my biggest truck or whatever. And we're just going to crush the, standard population or whatever. We're playing the game with our own funds too, and just having some fun with it. So know that we're not over here minting, free.
We physically can't. I had to mint $100 worth of food bucks just to test it all worked on main, because there's no way that I could send myself food bucks or mint a truck on the other way. There's no way of us physically doing it. So, we're not. No one on the team's going to be able to like front run this and jump up. If we want to front run it and jump up, we're using our own funds to do it. And I got to catch these two now because I've been busy coding it now for the last 24 hours. So I need to buy some more trucks now. It's done.
No, perfect. Do it. But I think that's a really good example, because what was the protocol that just came out, or that just crashed? I guess that everybody was it Global Aid, where the dev was able to mint their own packs or whatever, and basically just rake it in.
It's not good when people do that. That you can mint your own. It's like even like the Foodtopian coin, when they were when we brought it out, all the entire supply was minted and then locked where it all needed to go. So at no point we can like mint any more, and drive the price down at all or up wherever we want to do it, because the entire liquid supply is already out there. So the price you're seeing for the token is based on that entire liquid supply that's sitting out there. There's no more to be minted or can be minted or anything. So it's all just, it's just the way I like to work. I like to, I don't like anything where, the devs can get in, the devs can withdraw, all that kind of stuff. It's not the kind of stuff I want to build. So,
it even caused little issues on our end, because we had all those tokens, and then you locked in those anti-whale mechanics, and then we couldn't even move the bulk of tokens around. So they were kind of stuck where we had them. So, but it's just, I don't know, prime example, like, we're not doing anything crazy over here. Again, this protocol isn't going to hit $100 million, but we do things honest, whether it's for $1 or whether it's for $1 million. So I think it's key. And, a special shout out to Keith, obviously, for doing everything right on the back end for us. Because like Lee said, we're not developers. We've got our own special skills, and we lean on Keith heavy to get this stuff done. He's done a really, really great, good job. So.
Can you share my screen, dude? I think I've presented it in your...
I think you got let me take mine down.
Just to show like different strategies of how we do stuff. So this is mine. And I've got... I've just bought truck number 4 while we were live. So I decided to upgrade this one to level 2. As you can see, it says my next level is level 3. And I've got these are all at level 1. And what's your yield was set? Oh, so you're still 707.
707. So I'm beating you, if that was the question.
Oh, so I was going to try and brag then, but I just realised you got more than me. So
you're like, put my screen up real quick, because I'm gonna. Yeah.
But yeah, like that just shows the different strategies depending on what you want to do. So obviously, next is to see what I can cheat out to buy a 5th food truck.
Right.
But in all seriousness, it's like I just wanted to show, like, seriously, that every strategy is different, and Keith's will be different to mine, different to yours. So there's just it's the reason it's called Street Vendor Wars is because you choose your path, and obviously with the leaderboard thing that Keith, you need to build that now because people are saying it.
Leaderboard,
I'll build
good idea.
I'll build a leaderboard. It's actually really easy to do, actually. So I'll put a leaderboard on.
And people are already sharing stories. Look at the contract balance. It's 4.83, and people are already saying, "I'm doing this. Well, I'm going to do that." So I think it's pretty cool that there's already people saying, that's my strategy, and I'm sticking to it. And it's all about this number here, this one, 557 for me, hourly food coin yield. Because the higher that is, the higher your ability to sell, compound, and beat other players is. So I do agree that we have got an addictive product, and I think it's going to be fun to play.
Super fun. So that's the wars. I think I will probably try to wait for a few of the UI updates, and then probably launch a video tomorrow on it specifically, because I know a lot of people we went off track for the first 30 minutes anyway, so a lot of people maybe didn't get to the nuts and bolts of this. So I'll record a specific video on that, and I know you guys will too. We'll start to pump it out there and market it, but if you're watching, it would be a good time to get in, because obviously getting in is early. So if you're going to get in, getting in early is more beneficial. That's what I'm trying to say. Can't use my English.
Even though we're like beta testing now, because I've had a few people say, "Oh, well, will I lose my truck when it goes live?" The contract that the game is on is the live contract. So whatever, even if I completely rebuild the UI tomorrow, which I won't, but if I did, whatever you did is still all there, because it's all on the live contract. That's the final, final game contract. So
I think we're into beta now. We're not even in beta anymore.
I don't think we are anymore.
We're just in UI development now as we move on. I think we're pretty much live, to be fair.
You got a soft launch. Soft launch is up. It's running. Everything's fine. It's all just UI tweaks.
Yeah.
And contrary to other projects, when we need to do a UI tweak, we'll do it in the next couple of days. It's not going to be 6 months, and we don't have to take a protocol down to get a UI updated. So
I'll get it. Well, the plan is the majority done tomorrow.
It's there.
It's there. Yeah. Just because I and it's like I said, just if you could come in and it's telling you to refresh, it's just because I am editing the UI on the fly. So it, I keep pushing it to live every time I do some kind of update. I do. So it's all the updates are tested. Normally Lee's got like the dev test link in here, Lee, to be able to check it. So Lee will check it all works on like a different computer that's not mine, and then once that's done, I just push that to main, and then the DAP refreshes and then that's it. That new today, this today looks a lot different than what it did yesterday, didn't it? When they were looking at it yesterday. So, a few more days I think of getting it 100% right, but then the trouble is I like to tweak things too much. So I don't think it'll ever be 100% right as far as I'm concerned, but it'll be there.
Yep, it's close. It's cool. It's functional. It's another fun game to play. Like I said, we talked about a few protocols that are actually winning right now, which I'm excited about because I've had plenty of losers as of late, but a couple more on the horizon, but these are looking good. And then Street Vendor Wars is just going to be one of those things. Once we get a leaderboard, you're going to see people just trying to bump each other off and, get up to third or whatever, or be in the top 10 or whatever it is. So people will start to battle, and that will continue to climb, and the TVL will go up, and it'll just be fun in general. So I'm stoked about it.
Yeah, it's awesome. We could even some kind of weekly or maybe fortnightly, bi-weekly winner's prize. Somehow we could work that into the, whoever's the leader after 2 weeks could maybe get some kind of prize, which we'll talk about. Maybe a special NFT that allows you, I don't know. We'll think of something, but yeah, we'll think of something.
Yeah, that'll be something
cool. Some giveaways, whatever. We'll have fun with it, but
we just went over 5 BNB as well, which is cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
5.1
coming in. That's awesome.
Cool. Not bad for 16 hours.
Not bad. Yeah, I mean, we're just barely
16 hours, and this is officially the first proper real share, isn't it now?
Yeah.
So it. So
it'll be good.
I think once people get hold of it and realise, because it is addictive giving out your referral link, because a few people that have bought now who've been on the stream, just to give you an example, I said to you I was 110 off the next truck. I'm now only 70 off the next truck, and I've done nothing. It's just purely from referral bucks coming in from the people who've like you lot fighting amongst yourselves buying truck under my link and stuff. So so getting your link out there really benefits you, as well, just to passively earn enough to get the next truck without even having to do what. Yeah,
it's a good idea. That's cool. I'm into it. No,
I'm sure we've probably missed. I was going to do a list of things to talk about, but it's gone to. We've just gone into pub chat, haven't we?
I think we'll need to break it down in a specific video, but after the UI updates, it'll help. I really do think that leaderboard will cause more FOMO, because right now we're getting FOMO off each other just because you can see my screen, I can see yours, and we're seeing each other's numbers, and we're kind of like, oh, now I got to beat him,
Yeah.
If you could see other people's food coin yield, it would boost things up.
Yeah, feel free to share your screenshots in the Foodtopian Telegram of where you're at and what you're earning per hour, and if you've sold, you've compounded, who's beating who in terms of wars, the Foodtopian street vendor wars in the Foodtopian Telegram. As many screenshots as you want to send. We want to also beat you, so feel free to share them. It's part of the game. It's not trading cards exactly, but not far off.
Pretty fun. I'm gonna go do that right now. Actually,
Top trumps.
Right now.
Well, I'm gonna do it right now if you're doing it, even though you're beating me. Just excuse us while we do what we do.
Sorry. I'm just kind of in a different world today. That's how it goes. Awesome. Prince V, Elephant Money is crushing it for me. After that big pullback, it's rallying back up nicely. I bought a little bit more at the low, so I'm super happy about that. That's another protocol that I am super bullish on in the long term. I haven't really been playing with futures, but I like the token itself, and I got a few NFTs, and I'm just hanging out on that one. So that's a nice one. I don't talk about it enough because it's so passive. Like, I don't worry about waking up and having it not be there tomorrow. And so that's nice. I just check my balance every once in a while in Rabby and just see what I'm at. And it's been climbing, so I'm pumped on Elephant over the long term.
Is futures the one where you put $200 in? You have to put 200 in to
reset your compound availability. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So 0.5% a day, and then as you only get a certain amount of actions you could take. You got to keep redepositing in order to give yourself additional actions so you can compound that. So it helps just slow things down. But my strategy right now is just to build up my Elephant Money position just in the token, and then maybe another NFT here or there, and then just build those up. And when we see a massive rise, I may pull some tokens, sell some Elephant tokens, and just dump it into futures and have that be a longer term play. So another protocol that I think will do really well. And if we get into a bull market, I think it's going to go bonkers. So excited about that one. These are the times like we came out of the last bull market. Everyone was still pretty high on drip. We thought it could bounce back. The developments just didn't come, unfortunately. And then the bear market really took a hold. And so if you weren't really getting after it and developing and having outside revenue sources, very few protocols did well at all. But we're now getting into that where I feel like the bottom is already in. And so I feel more confident in buying some additional tokens and snagging a few alts and kind of playing a little bit more, knowing that I think we're closer to a bull market than even maybe some people think. So I'm going to stack that up now because one thing's for sure is during the next bull market, I'm going to crush it. And I know most of the guys that are listening and everybody who's been in DeFi enough for now knows like how to buy those tokens, how to get in, how to sprinkle around in a few different projects, the stuff they like. Most people have kind of identified something. So even if they're just taking their $100 a month or whatever and buying some alt tokens, they're going to do well. The people that are looking at crypto right now, like, oh, I want to stay away from it. And then just barely now going, oh, Bitcoin's looking interesting, but it's still half of what it was, 2 years ago. I'm going to wait. Those people are going to end up chasing it and driving the price up for all of us that got in during this downtime. So it is what it is. a lot of bottoms, a lot of turmoil in the last 2 years that we've all been fighting through, and we might have another year of it. But if you're going to accumulate either the big boys, the blue chips, or even some of these altcoins, I would start looking and mapping out what you want your next bull run to look like.
I've got a nice bag of alts now that I'm quite happy with. There's a few more I want to add to just to get to a certain number in my head, but I've got some really nice, that if they do what I'm hoping they're going to do, I'm going to make some good money.
I need more alts.
For sure.
Need more. Yeah, I do. I feel like I've been accumulating bits and bobs. Even if, I've said before on videos, even if it's like $1 worth of something, I've been buying it and just moving it aside. But now I feel we're getting a little bit closer. I feel a little bit of FOMO, not too much, but a little bit more like maybe I should be in a better position. But you know, it is what it is. I think there's still time, and like you say, with the Bitcoin halving happening next year. When is that? March or April or something?
April, I think.
I believe it's April. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you know, whatever. There's always a black swan sitting there waiting to float on the river. But I think, you know, I think we will get there at some point. And the fiat world is completely wrecked, isn't it? Let's face it. The cost of everything is just crazy. We've spoke about it before. I mean, I see even more now buying food in bulk, even at discounts. It's unbelievable the amount of inflation that's gone on to some of the consumables that we eat and love.
They're trying to say inflation is at 7-8% right now, which is always about half of what real inflation is. But it's significantly more than that. So now, I was looking last night to get a Walmart delivery of some produce and all that type of stuff. Right. I just pay for the service they bring it to my house. So, and I don't like to go into Walmart at all. So I order it on there. I've noticed that strawberries, raspberries, all this stuff, it's double what it used to be. So you're talking about
at least
% inflation, which is really more like it. So we're seeing interest rates over here are at about, you're getting the lowest rate possible. You're getting about like 8.1% on a house, which is massive. If you're buying a home, the average home price out here is $600K. So you work out the math on that payment. It's huge. People can't afford it. If you haven't bought a house before and you're not rolling out of it and have $200,000 in equity, you can't even get into a new home, because how are you going to save that much as a down payment when everything costs double what it did a couple of years ago? So when you're talking about inflation, it's massive.
It's ridiculous.
Mark, why you got to do that, dude? Mark just posted an image, and his hourly food token is $16.59. So yeah, more than double mine. Kind of pisses me off, Mark.
It's done already, isn't it?
So
do we even need this to be like pushed live? Should we just let you two find it out and pull the balance up? Like, silly numbers.
Okay, can you Google how to blacklist wallets on Renault's contracts?
wait till we get the price driven up, and then blacklist Mark for me.
God damn it, Mark! Hang on. So what's he doing?
Mark's always one of our best supporters, man. We gotta show
level
love
2 on truck 2.
He's level 2, so he's got all 5 trucks, and he's upgraded 4 of 1 through 4 into level 2.
Oh wow!
Okay.
And the thing is, he's making a good amount now that he's going to be able to upgrade quick now,
faster. So that's the other game theory. As you start to make more, you can upgrade your trucks even faster, and then you're outpacing everybody just on that, and then you're able to get to a position where you can kind of feel like you can take profits sooner. So, Mark, I'm going to go sell my wife right now and see if I can upgrade my trucks. Let's see how that goes.
So he's already at $9 a day. If he was to if he was to sell, he's at $9. 0.04 BNB per day, just on the day one math.
Yeah. So you figure you compound what you have for a while, then you're gaining your tokens, you upgrade your trucks, and then, you know, once this thing really starts to take off, once we start doing some marketing, then you're able to take profits and set up a standard 5 and 2 or whatever it is that you want to do. So there's 10 different ways to play it, but it's
even a 5 and 2 with that, you could 5 and 2, and you could literally compound 5 days, and then your ROI would be significantly more without really like draining your yield.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already got me thinking about the war, like the wars. That's what it is, isn't it? It's like now I'm looking at his thinking, okay, so if he's going to get that, then I need to get this. But if he upgrades another truck by the time I'm procrastinated about upgrading truck 2, and you need to do the math yourself.
Yeah,
that's the gamification. Yeah. Like obviously we thought about it, and let's not lie. We've seen projects similar to this, similar to that, similar to this, but the way we've sort of set up the math and the the inability to be able to max out your claims to a week. So the building in the middle, it's stuck at 24 hours. You have to like constantly think every day. So this time tomorrow, it's like, well, where was Scott yesterday? Where's Keith? So I know Mark Bowles was in front of me about 23 hours ago. So it's kind of like that's where the gamification comes in. You've actually got to think about what you're doing, unless you just want to cheat out. And in miners, like we know with the drip garden and other miners that are nothing like this, but I still like the drip garden. I'm still compounding or selling my seeds and then putting them back in, because I know everyone's cheating out. Whereas if I continue to compound like with this, I'll take the risk of the contract balance dropping, but my share of the contract going up. So it's kind of like, where do I go with this? Now with this one, because you're at war with everyone, it's nice to be able to see the screenshots of those that will share, because there will be people who are like, I ain't sharing that, mate, because he's going to copy me.
We'll see him on the leaderboard.
Well, yeah,
that's the thing. So the leaderboard will push it out there in front of everybody, and then you want to figure out who to chase. So
that's true.
It's perfect.
Well, I'd like to thank Mark, because Mark's little buy there has just pushed me over enough with a referral kickback that I've now just been able to get my third truck.
Nice.
All right, Keith, referral king, mate. There's no. Why don't you put some fresh capital in like me and Scott did?
Come on, man. Benefit
cheating our referral. Look at him. Mark, why did you use these?
Yeah, he is the dev, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. But that's the good thing about it. It does create a little bit of inter-team competition, which is all good for the protocol, because that's what we're here for, isn't it, Keith?
Yeah, exactly. Like we laugh, but I said before, everything I make in this, it's going into the wallet that created it. So it's all, and when I do take any profit, it'll be taken out and put straight into the Food Token ecosystem and the Unmade Sugar ecosystem. So, anyone wants to use, but anyone use anyone's links. I want to see loads of referral links out there, not just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
See people like going nuts, and like say little teams using, like people getting little teams together almost, because you can kind of tell, it tells you how many people are referred under you, on the UI, so you can kind of like people can start bragging about how many people they've got, under them on, and they're like teams and stuff like that. So I might even add that to the UI actually as well on the leaderboard. Yeah,
syndicates work. Syndicates are funny because you could have like, you have fancy football with the NFL and the English Premier League. Not saying we've got that kind of UI. I'm just saying more a case of the way people compete against each other. You could have Unmade Sugars TG versus Team STI versus Lee's group, and have a little, 6 to 20 people syndicate. Like, we've got to get in front of them. So the reason we did this was A, for the ecosystem, B, to enable us to use crypto to help us beat the regulation short term, C, to have fun, and D, for competition. You don't need much more.
Yep. Love it. Well, I'm gonna have to cut us off because we've already been going for an hour 45. So
Jesus.
Is that how long it's been?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be in trouble. I am I was just gonna pop upstairs for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, just give me just a quick sec. Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, I figured this was gonna be an hour. It's already an hour 45. We could go for another hour, just chopping it up, talking about other protocols, but we'll end it here. So after this, for the people, I would use this opportunity to, if you're watching and you're getting in, you're starting to get FOMO, go show your own link to everybody. That way, when we launch videos, you've already snagged a bunch of those people. I think that it's the best. Anybody who joins, it benefits us all. Like, we're not individually in a battle for who can get the most referrals. Keith's obviously going to win that one because he gave everybody his dev referral code. he's every hour he gets a new truck. But yeah, go out, share it. It's not, it's just barely live. We're still in this soft launch phase. So in the next day or two, you'll actually see the UI upgrades, new videos on it, and then hopefully people start piling in, and we'll start marketing a little bit out to some of the influencers and stuff like that, see if they can build up some teams, and we'll try to make this a fun one.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us on, dude, and thanks to everyone that's been watching. We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, everyone, thanks for joining. Make sure you follow these guys' channels. We're going to do more of these just in general on all the protocols, but specifically on Foodtopian and Street Vendor Wars. But thank you guys for joining, and we'll catch you on the next one. Happy investing.
See you later.